Okay, now I'm going to get the refillable cartridges ready to put them together and use them as a CIS. Now this only works for our cartridges. Under the label there's a little hole there. You can see it right there. Okay, now that's where the bracket that we give it goes into. Now you can hold the hose down by the first one or the second one. Makes no difference. And then once I lay it in there, and then of course I assembled it into the air vent hole right here. That little hole is air vent, and then refillable, that is the fill one. But we're only going to use the air, leave the fill hole alone. Now I'll show you how these go in. There's a compression ring. I can pull it out. There. A little rubber compression ring. I slide that onto the elbow. I get over the top of that air hole and I push it straight down. See, that locks it in. Then there's no gluing or anything like that. And you do them all the same. And then we're going to prime them up. But basically that's how you do it. That's now if you want to hold them together, I use a little rubber band till I can get it all put together. Make sure you do the right color sequence. Same thing when if you're getting an empty set, make sure you put the correct color order in your bottles so it comes out here. You can make it into a CIS anytime you want. And there you go. You see, on that one I put on the first clip. Now sometimes you get a little air like that when you're installing. Pay no attention to that, because that's actually a good thing. These cartridges hold almost 14 milliliters of ink, so you don't have to worry about running out of ink in that cartridge, even if you have a little air like that. That's actually a good thing. That's called a air brake. So below it we have ink, here we have air, and we have ink behind it. So that means ink cannot flow backwards. It helps stop that. I install the bracket in the center. I line that up straight right through, and then the other bracket on the outside. Now come over here. So I have it. There's a little clip under the bottom here. You're going to put the hose up. So when it goes back and forth, it runs smooth. And then this way, if you ever have to take the cartridges up, you can use a little screwdriver like this to get underneath it. Now normally when it's in the printer and you have to reset them, I just click it, pull up, and push it back down again. And that's usually enough to reset it. So it's very simple to put together. Very simple. And you'll get everything in the kit. And it primes right through the bottom. You're going to see that in the other video. Okay, now I can put more in. But for now, just for the video, I'll let it go. Then I will, when I'm done priming it, I'll put the big plug in, open up the little plug. Okay, now I come over here to the yellow cartridge. I already broke the seal. So I can push it right in there, right down in there, and then pull up. And then you'll see the ink run through the yellow in the line, right on in. And you keep pulling up on it till it fills it. Some will come into the syringe. Okay, there you go. Now that'll draw all the air out. That's the way you want to prime it. Just like that. If you ever have any problems, that's how you prime up the cartridge. Then you can go over here and you can add it back. Now you can purchase a whole set of these on our website, or we give you one that you can use when you first get the kit, and then you can just take it to the sink and rinse it out. I always go from the lightest color, the next lightest, all the way down to black. Black being the last color. That's how simple it was to prime it up. Then you can put it in, finish installing the main hose bracket, the other bracket, and the bottles can sit on the side. Now I'm going to show a little troubleshooting. We have one, the yellow. It does not want to reset. Light stays on. Sometimes it'll get a failed chip or whatever. Or sometimes the printer can't see it. So what we can do is we can change it out. That's what's good about having this type of system. I've got a refillable. I've got an extra one. I'm going to take the yellow and I'm just going to swap it out. What I'll do is I'll take the hose out of the little clip here, and then this will be free, and then I'll be able to take out the cartridge, leave the rest of them in, and just swap the hose over. That little bridge, I took the little hose clip off first, and now that exposes the cartridges. So then I can unsnap the yellow, and I'm going to take the elbow out with the compression ring, and I'm going to install it in another yellow cartridge. So you can repair these systems fairly easy should you have a problem. Now I just did this for the video so you could see it. I mean, that yellow is still good, but I wanted to show what could happen. You know, as time goes on, cartridges, just like anything else, just fail. I just transferred it. I got the compression ring, and I'm going to push it in and lock the hose in. Okay, now I just snapped it in. Now you see there's a little bit of air here. 1 or 2 cleanings will take care of that. So I don't even worry about that. There we go. I just changed it out. Now I hit the ink button so it can go. Yellow one out. Now that is my MK cartridge, my matte black cartridge. That came on. That was getting low. It was definitely getting low. I knew that was going to happen. Saying you didn't install genuine Epson cartridges. Just proceed. That has to be there because they're not genuine Epson. And it shouldn't say that they weren't. It's the yellow. I reset my matte black. And now my photo black is a little low. But I'm not going to worry about it now. Because now that I have the ink tank, all I have to do is worry about that. When it goes down and you get the X, bring it over, lift it up, push it back down, ink level goes back up. So now I just got to do one cleaning and check my nozzles. Okay, now I ran the bottles empty on the yellow, plus I had to change out the yellow cartridge. So that was my fault. Now you can see the yellow goes back here, some of the black goes back. I can take that cartridge, lift it up out of there, and with a little syringe prime up the system. So I can prime that right back up again. So I'm going to take the little hose bracket, I'm just going to lift it off so that I can get the cartridge out easy to do that. There again, I use a small screwdriver and I'm going to just pry it up. Now I've got it under power. You might want to shut it off. No, I'm sorry, not shut it off. You might want to unplug it. Now I'm going to pick the yellow up, take it right up out of there. You can't do it when it's locked into the printer because you'll suck all the ink out of the printhead. Now I'm going to use that, take that plug out and use this little syringe, go in there, pull up. It's going to draw ink from the bottle right on up and fill the cartridge. Plug. Now I'm going to pull up. Getting some back pressure. And then you're going to see the ink come up through the yellow and go into the cartridge. Now before I do that, I got to point this out. I want to make sure that I plug off the little one when I'm doing this and open up the big one because I want as much air to go in there so I can draw it up. Okay, now I go over here and I pull it up and I'll hold it like that. It takes a minute or two and it'll start to fill up. And do it again. There it is. See, now you're starting to see some air bubbles. And it's starting to fill up the syringe. There. Now, Before I take that off, I go over here and I plug up the both plugs temporarily. Now I can put the yellow plug, remove the syringe, put the yellow plug back in. Now my black needs to be primed up, the PK black. Now the blue or the cyan, I'm not going to mess with it. It's only a little bit. You don't want to mess with that. So now I'm going to take this one up, and then I'll do this one. There again, it's got to be out of the printer to do it. I go over to the tank, and I'm going to close off the small one. Okay, I'll close them all off. There you go, close it off. Then open up the larger one. See, it goes cyan, the clear, and then the PK. Now I'm not going to do any of the other ones because everything looks good. There again, I'm going to take out the black plug, take that same syringe because I can go from light to dark. I had yellow in it, so I can go in there. Then I can just clear it out later. Put it in, and then pull up. See it? Look at that, it went right on in. That's how simple it is. So if I keep doing it, it's going to fill up the cartridge and some is going to spill into the syringe. Starting to come in. All the air bubbles are coming out. Now again, I can't take it off yet. I'm going to go over to the bottles and I'm going to plug off the big hole. Okay? Should you have a problem or you need to fix something that's happened. But now, with the refillable cartridges and using it as a continuous ink system, it's worked quite well. Very easy to prime it up, very easy to keep it running. And on plain paper. Looks pretty good.